Welcome back. In this video, we are going to continue our work in the Africa Wildlife Project. Now, with your project open, your AfricaWorking.psd open, go to your Tools palette and select the Freeform Pen tool. Now, first off, find your pen tool, which will be right under this little icon that looks like a hand, and right above the T icon for text. Now, most of you will probably just have your regular pen tool selected. So to get to the Freeform Pen tool, just click and drag over, and then select the second option, where it says Freeform Pen tool. All right. Now, the great thing about the pen tool that you learned about in Illustrator is that you're able to create all kinds of shapes. But the pen tool also came with some drawbacks, including the fact that you had to create everything using what were called Bezier curves. Now, what's great about the Freeform Pen tool in Photoshop is you can almost treat it like a pencil and just take it piece by piece and drag it around your shape, and you don't actually have to create any points. All that's done for you. So before we can get started, we need to make sure that our pen tool settings are in place. Now, for this project, remember your goal was an artistic rendering, not a pixel perfect recreation of the map. Because of this, you can use the Freeform Pen tool to more easily create the layer masks, and again, instead of going point by point with the regular pen tool. So to get the tool set up correctly, first I want you to go to the drop-down option over here. Yours will probably say Path. What I want you to do is make sure that this is selected to Shape. Next, I want you to click on your Color Palette tool and select a color that will be pretty high contrast with whatever's around it. I'm going to use this bright lime green here. You can leave your other settings the same, but then I want you to come all the way over to this little sprocket in your options panel and make sure this curve fit is set to 2 pixels. Now, this curve fit will help you helps determine where the points are automatically generated when you're creating your different paths. And by selecting the shape tool, now instead of just an outline like we've done before in the pen tool, this will actually create the shape and fill it with this bright green color as we go along. Alright, so I'm not going to do the whole map for you. Instead, I'm going to show you how this works using Madagascar down here. So I'm going to zoom in a couple times using Command++ and get right here at Madagascar. Now, first, you would want to start at the tip top of the island, or you can actually start anywhere, but I'm going to prefer to start up top and drag down. Now, I'm doing all of this just with the trackpad on my laptop, or if you have a mouse or even a tablet with a pen, you can do it that way as well. And I'm just trying to hug pretty close here to these edges. Again, just hold down and click and drag. Now, if you let go, like I just did, no problem. You can already see how this is already going to be working for us. It comes in here and creates these different points. But, so, say you mess up and you accidentally let go halfway through like I just did. That's okay. Just come back to the very last point that you start on, and if you see this little slash right under your pen icon, that means you can click and drag and continue your path. So I'm going to do that. And come up here and drag around the different edges. Keep going. Keep going. And almost there. Just going to come up here and try to hug as tight to it as I can. And we'll just make a good guess. Alright. Alright, that's it. Now you can see we have this brand new shape layer over here that was created for shape number 1. And it has been, it's kind of a nice free-form rendering of our island of Madagascar without having to go in and click every point individually. Now I'm going to zoom out. Now you're going to be doing this for this entire map. And starting on page 253 in your text, it takes you through how to do this for the big continent and also for all the little ones up here. Another thing that you can use to help, and I'll zoom in on Italy up here, so we have the boot, is you can also use the magnetic option. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to drop in magnetic, I'm going to change contrast to 40% and frequency to 20. Alright, from this part, now you'll notice what this does if I start clicking and dragging along my boot here is it starts to latch on to the different parts of the island where it has a dark contrast with the blue. This way you don't have to follow it exactly, but it creates some really good curves for you. Now again, you can now what happens is when I'm clicking down and the path is going, I'm just looping around here and it's creating things as it goes along. But at this boot, I'm having a little bit of trouble. So here, just let go of your pen tool and then click again to start this process over, and you can see it actually makes all the different points for you. So we're going to come around the edge here. We're going to come up this way, around this little notch, and then the rest of the way up the boot and over. And boom, you can see that we've made the second shape layer here. Now, something that you'll notice is that we actually have two different shape layers. Now, for your project, all of this needs to be on one shape layer. So when you're drawing, make sure that your settings are set to add shapes together. Now, I want to delete this second shape layer and get that out of the way. And you should be able to find that other panel over here. Yes, under right beside the height panel, you see this little square. You can select that and make sure that Combine Shapes is selected. So now if I select this option, and I'm going to come in here and make my contrast a little bit lower. I'm going to change it to 20% and frequency to 10. And we're going to trace Italy again over here. So I'm going to come in here and trace, go around this edge, and keep going. And again, don't worry if it's not perfect. Remember, I'm not looking for a perfect rendition of the map. I'm just looking for something that's pretty close. Come back up to the top and all the way around, and again close that path, and boom. Alright, now you can see that both my shapes are on the same shape layer, and so we have these two bright green areas. And now if I turn the visibility off by clicking the icon, you can see that they come in and go away. Alright, so that's it. Now I want to let you take the reins on this and finish drawing the Africa map right here and this part of Asia and Europe up here. Once you're finished, you can keep going. Again, this starts at page 253 in your text, and in our next video, I'm going to have all of this already outlined and ready to start working with our shape layer and Photoshop effects.